Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to the channel, episode 221. Man, I really can't describe how much I hate making cancel episodes during a weekend. Like, personally, when it's like Friday or like early Saturday in this case, I just want to make prediction videos. That's it. That's the only video I want to make for the weekend. And then I take the weekend off, and then during like the week I do whatever I can. But for the weekend, it's just prediction videos. That's all I want to do. But sometimes I can't do that. No. The news just has to pop up at the worst possible time. And there's nothing I can do but talk about it. So let's talk about it. We got three things to discuss. And we might as well talk about the movie that is the reason why I'm even making this video in the first place. And that's the Bikeriders. And let me tell you, this movie's had a very weird last few weeks, or really last month, really. So the Bikeriders, this was initially supposed to come out last weekend, and it was supposed to be distributed by Disney via 20th Century Studios, basically their adult division. But then something happened. Like, the movie was taken off the schedule because at the time the actor strike was going on. But then obviously the actor strike has been over now for a while. So one would think, okay, the movie's going to stick with the date and now you can start marketing and pushing it and whatnot. No. Instead, Disney just dropped it. They just said, you know what? We don't want this anymore. And they just tossed it. They just said, if anyone else wants to have it, take it. We don't want it. So it's basically the nice version of what happened with. It's like, it's like, it's kind of similar to Coyote versus Acme, but instead of like straight up tossing the movie and using it as like a tax write off, instead they just sold it off to somebody else, which is way more acceptable and way less disgusting. But so instead of being distributed by 20th Century Studios, it's now being distributed by Focus Features. And now the movie has a new release date, June 21st of next year, next summer. So yeah. I mean, I guess that's a better date. I mean, if it came out in December, there would have been way too many award centric movies coming out at the same time. Like, it would have been hard for it to stand out. At least it was in summertime, like it won't be too bad because summer is looking really weak right now, and that's partially because of those strikes. um, but yeah, summer needs all the movies it can get. I believe the 21st was kind of like a dead zone. It was like kind of like nothing there, so you got to fill that in with something. So yeah, I mean, apparently the movie was well received, so it's not like a bad movie or anything. Um, so maybe it'll do well. Maybe it'll be like this small little summer hit, and and I find it kind of hilarious that the weekend this is coming out is more or less the same weekend Elvis came out like last year, which also in both these movies, both Black Brothers and Elvis, star Austin Butler. Yeah, just one a little fun fact for you. Um, but yeah, I don't really care that much about the movie, but that might change if I see like a trailer and it really interests me. For right now, I have no real interest. But I mean, good for the movie. I mean, it's still gonna be theatrical. It's not like it's gonna get booted to Hulu or something. So it could be worse. It could be a Coyote versus Acme. But at least that movie was saved. But now it's like being shopped around by different studios. And there's a bit of an update on. I'm not gonna go into detail, but there was a bit of an update. Apparently, Paramount is in on the bidding now, but apparently Warner Brothers, they want to really like make back that $70 million, even though they were gonna write it off for like the $30 million. Like, I I don't get that at all. That makes even less sense. Whatever. So yeah, so we're done with Bikeriders. Now we talk about the Underdogs. Snoop Dogg, the Snoop Dogg movie. So this movie was supposed to be have a theatrical release at like the end of January, but that has changed. It has went from theatrical to streaming because now it's gonna be a Prime Video exclusive. So it's coming out the same day it was supposed to be theatrical, January 26th. And one would think that would be a very bad thing for theaters, but when you think about it, this is probably for the best because this is supposed to be like an R-rated comedy, and as the article here states, live action R-rated comedies, it's been rough to say the least. I mean, Strays, Like a Boss, Blackening, Joyride, Machine, House Party, all bombs. So, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest ones we've gotten really was what? Jackass Forever and No Hard Feelings, and they both only had like 50 something million. So, yeah, it makes sense to not make this a theatrical movie because who would watch it? Because like R-rated comedies, they're basically box office poison right now. So yeah, uh, I mean, I don't really care about this movie like at all. I knew nothing about it, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Just a big old shoulder shrug. But for any Snoop Dogg fans out there, I mean, January 26th, that weekend, you get to watch the movie on Amazon Prime Video. So if you wanted to do that, go ahead. That's gonna be your weekend. I mean, it's not like you're gonna have a whole lot to watch in January anyway. So, um, I mean, you have like, I mean, there is the Mean Girls musical movie and the Beekeeper, but January is just sad. February is also pretty sad. There won't be like any. There won't be like any event movies until like what, March. So, yeah. Oof. But yeah, the Underdogs. It's been given the theatrical to streaming treatment. Basically, the opposite of what happened with Soul, Luca, and Turning Red, where originally they were theatrical, then streaming, then theatrical again. This is just good old theatrical to streaming. So yeah. Now there's one more movie to discuss. It wasn't mentioned on Deadline. I had no idea it even happened until someone in the comments pointed it out to me. That's this Horrorscope movie where this was supposed to come out June 28th, but Sony have apparently rescheduled it to May 10th. And as the article says, why the move? It may have something to do with the fact that A Quiet Place Day 1 is supposed to come out June 28th. So yeah, makes sense. You should never have two movies of the same genre coming out at the same time. That never ends well. You're just going to cannibalize your audience, and neither movie's going to win. So, yeah, so this makes sense. And May 10th, I don't remember. I think it was like my best friend's ex wedding, something like that. May 10th was pretty much an open spot anyway, more or less. So it wouldn't hurt to release it that weekend. And plus, now A Quiet Place Day 1 doesn't have any direct competition to deal with. So that's good. So, yeah, I mean, I have no thoughts on this at all. I haven't even seen any marketing for this. So, like, what am I supposed to say? So, but for anyone who was interested in this, well, you're going to get to see it like a month earlier. So, good for you. But for me, I don't care. So, yeah. And that's it. Yeah, it wasn't exactly an exciting episode, but I mean, something, I guess. So now it's time to play that game. What will happen next? December is pretty much set in stone. Absolutely nothing should change. Then we get to January. There's Soul. Now it's on the schedule. There's a bunch. Yeah, Underdogs, scratch that. That's now in streaming. Then you got February. There's Turning Red. Uh, like of all these movies coming out like the first 2 months, there's like two I'm really interested in. That's the Mean Girls musical movie because I'm a fan of the original movie, and Madam Web because I think it's gonna be an absolute disaster. Nothing else. I'm just like it's so bland. But like I mean, unless you're a fan of The Chosen, I mean, February is going to be the best month of your life. You get to watch the whole season 3 times in theaters. So, yeah. But like Dune Part 2, that's going to be the first real event of 2024. And I'm excited to see that. And then you got the rest of March. March 15th is still an open spot. I'm surprised no one has taken it yet. I feel like you should. And then you got April, blah, 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 blah. Well, there's Luca. I didn't mention that. Luca, that's now on the schedule, officially. Then you got April, May. There's Horoscope. I'm not confident that Furiosa and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes are coming out the same day. I don't think that's a good idea. Both are kind of in the same genre, and it's just not, I don't think it would be good for them to fight against each other. So I don't know if that's gonna happen, but if it does, it'll be interesting. Then you got June. So yeah, June 21st is just like that's such a nothing day. Like nothing's coming out. I mean, there's the untitled event film, but that could be anything, or that could just be nothing. That could just be a placeholder for a movie that was never going to make that date in the first place. I don't know, but yeah, there's June. Then there's July. July has like you can throw way more movies into that month. Like I feel like that month could really use more movies. Then you got August here. Then you got let's see, there's September, October, November, and then December. There's Nosferatu. Bikeriders, that's now June 21st. I forgot. That's June 21st now. So there's a movie there. So yeah, but the rest of these movies they're in the ether. I have no clue what will happen to them. I am convinced some of these movies will never ever see the light of day. And let's see, the 2025 is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and yeah, there's Thanksgiving too. During 2025, it's probably going to be the weekend before Wicked Part 2. That I'm betting that's when they're going to launch it. That's when it's going to get its release date. Um, that's what's going to come out. And yeah, that's it for like the next. That's what the next 2 years look like. So yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage. All previous not prediction, cancel episodes I made on the channel. There's now 221 episodes, including this one. So you want to watch any of them from beginning to now? I highly encourage you to do that. So go do it. There's also box office predictions where I predict box office for movies. I got 4 movies to do right after I make this video. I'm not talking about Waitress the Musical. That's gonna be in theaters for like 5 days. Making a video on that would be pointless, so I'm not gonna do it. But the 4 movies here, yeah, I will talk about those, especially Boy and the Heron. So stay tuned for those videos. But if you want to watch any of the past prediction videos I made this year or the past few years, you can go right ahead. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for a particular month. My November recap, I did that like yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't remember anymore, but that's just did that on the channel. And my December recap won't be till I guess in between Night Swim and all the January 12th movies. So that's when that video will hit. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.